Hi everybody. Um, I am just prepping some stuff and I wanted to make a video to come on here just to have a chat. Today's video is brought to you by Angela Bricato's Gucci Daddy cookies. Um, if you haven't had these before, which if you're not from New Orleans, maybe you haven't, but it's like a giant fig Newton topped with sprinkles. And I've eaten this entire pack today because I do what I want. I need to prep some of this stuff, and I need to also try to stay awake for at least another hour, or I will end up waking up at 2 in the morning and having a total panic attack because I'm up at 2 in the morning. So this is just some foam sheets I'm cutting into 1-inch strips. You'll see this project at the end of the month. I just need to make some more of what I was making in the video, so I'm going to do this while I talk about things. It is July 9th, and my mom's husband, for all intents and purposes, passed away this morning, which, if you're keeping track, that is the second member of my family that I have lost in the past 6 weeks. So I don't have to explain what I'm going through because I would assume most everybody knows what that would be like. My mom met Carl when she was completely at the end of her rope with my dad. They divorced shortly thereafter, and Carl has been a part of my life since I was in high school. And I did not always get along with him. A lot of it was, hey, did I cut these wrong? A lot of it was like, hey, new guy, get out of here. You know, I think most people are threatened by a new person in their mother's lives. Most guys, young men at the time. And no one, not even Carl, was ever going to be good enough for my mom. But, you know, surprisingly, he was a huge step up from my dad. My mom was happy, and it was the first time I had seen her happy in a really long time. They moved to Florida when I was a senior in high school and stayed there until 2009. I moved to Florida in 2005 after Hurricane Katrina, and I stayed because my mom was there and it felt good to be near her again. And one of the things I remember about Carl is, like, it was really hard after the hurricane. I don't know how many of you have been through that, but when you have everything one minute and then go from being homeless and having nothing the next, it's a little hard on you. And I feel like it was especially hard on me because I was in my mom's house, and it was with my sisters and my mom and Carl, and it was like safe, and there was food, and we had a lot better than most people, but I was just at this strange place because I had lost every outlet for my creativity. I didn't have even a camera. Did I do 7? Yes. I didn't even have a camera. I had a PlayStation and my dog, because that's what I took when I evacuated, because Didn't think my house was going to get 19 feet of water. And Carl took me to this place. Still not really sure what it was. It was like a craft something. It was a big warehouse, and they sold craft stuff. I think it was like the Cousin warehouse. You know, Cousin sells craft supplies at like Walmart and stuff. It was like their warehouse, and just had a bunch of random stuff. And I bought this little beaded tree kit, you know, where it's like a beads and wire, and you twist the beads around to make the branches. And I worked on that thing for a while, and it wasn't what I wanted to be doing. It wasn't very challenging, but you know, it was something at least. And I was in there for like an hour just because it felt good to be around projects, I guess, you know. And he stayed there, and he just kind of walked around and let me do my thing for like an hour. And he's been sick for a while. He's been had cancer on and off for the past 20 years. He always said, almost every Christmas, you know, with the same regularity that some people may read A Christmas Carol, he would say every Christmas, well, since this is my last Christmas, and my mom would roll her eyes and say, no, it's not. And I would say, Carl, you are going to outlive us all. I said, you will be the only person who attends your grandchildren's funeral with your great-great-great-grandchildren. Because he was indestructible. No matter what happened to him, no matter how many times it was, he doesn't have longer. You know, it's not, he won't last much longer. You know, the cancer's back, and it's not going to be long now. And every time, Carl got the all clear. Carl's in remission. Carl is on the mend. And it got to be like a running joke in our family about how, like, he was just gonna outlive everybody. Even though he was the sickest. And he was sick a lot. And in the past, I don't know, 2 years, it got worse. And, you know, it was hard on my mom, because she's not a young, spry thing anymore. And helping him up when he fell and helping him in the shower and everything, it had really taken a toll on her. And, you know, I think he knew that. And he said, you know, so grateful for her. But after all he did, you know, however many times he needed, you know, as soon as she laid down to take a rest after work, and he called her for something, and it was, you know, if she got frustrated, or if he got frustrated and, you know, lost his temper because his life wasn't like it used to be, like, that was okay, because what he gave her was just invaluable. So my dad was not a person. He had all the money in the world, bought my mom anything she could possibly want, but I had never seen him pull out a chair for her in his life. And Carl did that every time they sat down to eat, whether they were eating something from Burger King or if he had just spent all day cooking, he pulled out her chair for her. And we were there on Father's Day. He didn't because he was just so weak. But how lucky of her to have him for as long as she did. And for him to have her. Because he was far from perfect. He was a complete pain in the ass. Hard-headed and stubborn and particular about the most ridiculous things. But I think it's, as annoying as he might have been at times. But Mom was like, well, at least he's better than the last one. So he went to the hospital on Sunday. It had been, a kind of a steady decline. He told my mom, I can't expect you to do this anymore. I think I need to go to the hospital so I can get better. And once we found out he couldn't get better, he could stay alive for a little bit longer, but he wasn't going to get better. So he held out until his daughter Crystal came in from Georgia, and we said our goodbyes on Wednesday. And I just kept waiting for my mom to text me in the middle of the night saying that it was over and he was gone and he was someplace better. And that text never came. And when I talked to her this morning, she just said that he was still hanging in there and she didn't know if she should go back up because it was going to be hard on her. She didn't want him alone. But she didn't want to be there either, Because who wants to watch the person they've loved for the past 20 years die? So I said, I'm going to come over and I will come get you and we will go from there. So I picked her up and she decided that yes, she was going to go to meet his daughter there, who had come in the night before. And we got there and they wouldn't let us in the room because they said we were waiting for gowns or something, and they later came out and said that he had passed while we were on our way to the hospital. And yeah, I went and met his daughter when she came and told her, because I wouldn't want that news from a stranger that I've never met. But he fought so hard. And so much stronger than I know I'll ever be. And now I have to be there for my mom. And I don't know how. I don't have help. And I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. Carl was a veteran, and he loved to cook. And for the most part, he was pretty good at it. He made fantastic ribs, or so I'm told. I won't eat meat off a bone, because I think it's gross. He loved trying new things. He loved planning a meal over one insignificant ingredient. Like, there's an onion that's going to go bad tomorrow, so I looked up this 14-course recipe that uses an onion. Yeah. So, he'll be missed. He loved the garden and he couldn't garden. for the past couple of years, because it was just, he was getting older and it was getting harder, and when they moved to their house down here where I live, they bought this riding lawnmower because they had such a big lawn to mow, and he would ride that thing around and he called it a tractor, even though it was a lawnmower, and I was like, why does he keep calling it that? It's not a tractor, it's a lawnmower, but it made him happy, I guess, to pretend like he was a farmer because that was something he wanted. Um, and I just hope that wherever he is now, he knows that I had some time on Thursday to tell him that I was going to take care of Mom, and he didn't have to worry about her. And then he didn't have to worry about me, because I know he did. Whenever I would have to go to the emergency room, he always made sure to call and check in with my mom to see how I was doing. I feel like I took that for granted, how much he did care. You know, my car broke after I was in the hospital with that bone infection. I didn't have the money to fix the car. My mom didn't have the money to fix the car, and it just said, here, write a check, take my debit card, go get it. Then I wrote him a card, thank you card that just said, thanks for being more of a dad to me than my real dad is. And my mom gave it to him, and she said he cried because he didn't think that I thought about him that way, but I did. And now he's gone, and I'm just stuck with my shitty dad who doesn't care. So yeah, that is today. And that was 6 weeks ago with my grandma, and I don't know how much more I can handle. I don't know how I'm supposed to help my mom because I'm doing something wrong and I can't get my channel monetized, and I'm working day and night and nothing's, I don't know. But the whole point of this was to say that if you are dealing with the grief, that art, whatever it may be, even if it's craft foam covered in glitter, is a nice escape for a while. At least until you're hard enough to take your nighttime drugs and pass out for at least 6 hours, hopefully. I need about 14, but I'll settle for 6. Alright, so look forward to the rest of this video that's already filmed and uploaded, but this is for the rest of it. Thank you for listening. You guys are always so great when I come on like this and just, you know, unleash for a little while. I will see you guys on Monday for a new Christmas in July video, and if you have something you need to say to someone you love, make sure you say it often. Make sure they know. Alright guys,